If you are not a cross-country trucker or native to Cincinnati or northern Kentucky, you've likely never heard of the Brent Spence Bridge and its importance to the region and the country. The Brent Spence Bridge, many moons ago, was dubbed functionally obsolete, yet it still serves as a vital artery connecting the nation. About 3% of the nation's gross national product utilizes the bridge each year. In this video, we will cover decades of politics at play, the replacement plan, and neighborhood integrity. First, it's important to get some context. The Brent Spence, a double-decker bridge named after, at the time, Kentucky's longest-serving congressman, connects Cincinnati, Ohio to northern Kentucky over the Ohio River. An interesting point is Brent Spence himself was opposed to the bridge being named in his ilk and wanted it to be named after John F. Kennedy, who was assassinated just days before the ribbon cutting. The bridge officially opened in November of 1963, with 3 southbound lanes on the top deck heading into Kentucky and 3 northbound lanes on the bottom deck heading into Ohio. By the 1980s, the bridge was overwhelmed with far more daily traffic than anticipated, causing the Ohio and Kentucky Departments of Transportation to remove the bridge shoulders to make room for an additional lane in each direction. The removal of shoulders is dangerous as it leaves motorists with no pull-off space in the event of an accident, blown tire, or other emergency. However, local officials found it necessary to take such measures as the bridge was seeing an unanticipated number of vehicles. Brent Spence was designed to support the passage of 85,000 vehicles per day. However, the latest analysis reveals the bridge is nearly carrying 150,000 vehicles per day. It is important to note the removal of shoulders and soaring levels of usage have deemed the bridge functionally obsolete. However, this is drastically different than structurally obsolete. I make this call to reassure our audience that the bridge is not in imminent state of collapse. Well, maybe outside of the fall of 2014, where chunks of concrete fell from the bridge ramp underneath a parked car. And if you're local to the region, you probably noticed white tarping covering the bridge for most of 2021. This was not a structural issue. It was actually a facelift the bridge was receiving. A $35 million facelift, meaning a paint job. For decades, local leaders and national figureheads have agreed the bridge is in dire need of replacement. Former President Obama and former President Trump both attempted to, but were unsuccessful in, securing federal funding for the project. While local leaders have also been pushing for a new bridge, they're staunchly opposed to any solution that requires a toll. The project is undoubtedly going to be expensive, with current cost estimates coming in at $2.8 billion US. But the project is not without merit. In 2021, the Brent Spence Bridge was ranked as the second worst bottleneck in the country. With the bipartisan passage of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, there is renewed hope for a replacement bridge. The $1 trillion legislation has earmarked $39 billion in grant opportunities specifically for bridges. Both Ohio Governor Mike DeWine and Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear have announced plans to apply for said grants with the goal of receiving a total of $2 billion federal dollars. If the Brent Spence Bridge replacement project wins federal dollars, and if state and local leaders can allocate the remaining $800 million required, a new bridge could be built. Both governors are confident that their bids for federal dollars will ultimately win funding and that the additional $800 million can be, quote, raised over time at the state level. Even once the funds are acquired and allocated, the road to a new bridge is long, with the project likely breaking ground in 2023 and taking 5 years to complete, according to the Director for Ohio Department of Transportation. This new bridge would not act as a one-for-one replacement of the Brent Spence Bridge. Rather, it would act as a companion bridge to be used in tandem with Brent Spence. In addition to construction of a new bridge, the $2.8 billion would also cover improvements to Brent Spence, as well as rework I-75 and I-71 on both sides of the Ohio River. The proposed companion bridge is tentatively set to be built just west of the current Brent Spence. Do you think Ohio and Kentucky will secure the funding? What are your thoughts on a companion bridge instead of a replacement? Most importantly, how will adding another bridge affect neighborhood integrity? A brief history lesson shows us that the construction of I-75, Fort Washington Way, and the Brent Spence Bridge decimated local communities, mostly African American communities. This photo is Cincinnati pre-interstate, and this photo is Cincinnati post-interstate. The urban core was significantly impacted, specifically the West End neighborhood of Cincinnati. If you're interested in learning more about how the neighborhood has changed, comment below for a more in-depth video on the impact of I-75 on the Cincinnati urban core. If you enjoyed the video and the content, please consider giving the video a thumbs up, as it helps the YouTube algorithm recommend this content to others that may be interested in this topic. If you're interested in additional infrastructure happening, subscribe to the channel. New videos are posted weekly.